Hey everyone, this is LuckySevenDX. Welcome back to Let's Play Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. In the last episode, we finished up the Sand Temple. It was pretty good. We got ourselves a new sword. Really, this whole new sword thing really doesn't get played up that much. I'm not even really sure off the top of my head, like, if it has anything special besides extra damage, to monsters or anything. I'm not even sure if it does. Oh, I think it does do an extra monster, just thinking, ahead. Although when half the monsters you fight are in your train, that doesn't really do much good. But today we start the rest of this, these side quests. Unfortunately, well, there is going to be 5 videos, I'm going to assume. 3 Force Gem stuff, and then 2 for some other kind of stuff. But, the first one, honestly, going to be kind of a little boring. Just going to, say now, just going to get a couple Force Gems. Not even really going to show where they lead yet. But next episode, I'm going to show that lead, and next episode is definitely going to be pretty long and pretty jam-packed in general, so, it's going to be worth it. I'm just showing off the new dialogue here at the Tower of Spirits because we can. And our first stop is going to be Castle Town. Now, I could have quickly stopped by the Sand Sanctuary to show what we need to get. Because if you stop by the Sand Sanctuary, which, might not be a bad idea now that you have the Sand Wand. There's nothing you can really do with the Sand Wand. But you might think, hey, I get the Stamp Station now. Well, you still can't. You actually need to get this Force Gem first. However, the reason why this video will be cool is because we are going to get all the stamp stations and get the reward for the stamp stations in this episode. So, if you've been curious about that, stay tuned, because let me tell you, the reward is sweet. So, definitely going to be worth keeping an eye on. Also, I run into a little bit of mishap here. Hello, Demon Train. Getting right in my face. Do not appreciate that. You can go away. Leave me alone. But yeah, that's going to be the message of the episode. Not the most exciting one, but, there'll be some cool stuff at least, and it's going to set up for next episode being pretty freaking awesome. And the episode after that is actually going to be pretty awesome as well. They're both going to be really interesting, areas. But we need to buy more chickens. That's right, it's a repeat performance from the chickens. I think we already had one, Mega Ice. We've had a lot of them with Mega Ice before, so, we've had like 3 instances where we need to buy Mega Ice. I'm trying to think if there's been any other repeat, performances as well. I wouldn't call it performance, but, close enough. A repeat sale, repeat transportation of good, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But hey, it's a letter from Ferris. Yeah, so Force Gem number 1 is going to be chickens. Force Gem number 2 is going to be Ferris. So that's right, Ferris is back. He's more Force Gems. He has more gratitude to give us from the bottom of his heart, because he does not have gratitude enough. Poor little scamp, he needs to be more thankful for all the stuff we do for him. Which luckily he will be, and that's apparently going to give us more spirit tracks, because apparently being thankful makes magical stuff happen. I mean, they kind of have, I definitely think this game was the inspiration for the gratitude crystals of, Skyward Sword. So, I do think that was sort of a throwback to that. Well, the gratitude crystals were a throwback to the Force Gems from this game, is what I mean to say. But yeah, Ferris is in an area. You might recognize that whole pattern of tracks. If you don't, I will be showing you later in this video. And actually, it's going to be a majority of the video, because, as usual, I don't really like to speed up those sections. I probably could have sped up this one, actually. But, I didn't want to really... there really wasn't time to get into the next area anyway, of all the stuff I could have saved. Like, probably would have saved maybe, 5 minutes. Or, I guess I might have been able to fit the next area in. But then, all the videos have been sort of lopsided in general, so things just work out very nicely this way. So we're going to do it like that. Just going to speed through this Tower of Spirit section. We already saw this. We don't need to see this again. At least I think the dialogue was the same. If it wasn't, oh well, you guys have the ability to pause. Kind of missed my target, but whatever, we can get there anyway. Onwards to the Sand Sanctuary. We don't need to slow this one down, because there's really nothing that threatens you along the way except for a few sand sharks. And, we know how to deal with those by now, so it's not a big deal to slow down and show that off, necessarily. Actually, for the most part of the Ferris side quest, it's an area we really haven't seen much of, so I don't really mind slowing down and showing off that area again, because it's definitely one of my favorite areas anyway. By the way, Beetle, he just passed over us. I don't care about him because he is a douchebag. But anyway, our Locomo Rael will be waiting out here for us, and we have to bring in the chickens. And the reason we bring in the chickens, well, it's going to give us I'm going to start calling these gratitude crystals now that I make that analogy. God damn it. He'll give us a Force Gem, and it'll bring chickens over here. And those cuckoos will be the way we get ourselves the final stamp station of the game. So that's also pretty exciting. So we'll go ahead and take care of that right now. That's right, we're gonna go fly have more chickens. There's a lot of use of cuckoos in this game, actually. We've used them in several occasions to get treasures and other stuff. Probably, I know, is this the first stamp station you have to use cuckoos to get? I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. But they're actually a bit more used in this game than they have been. But look at that final stamp station of the game right there. This book is complete. It's time to take it back to Niko, and I'll be doing that right now. Let's go there now. I want to show off all the goodies now, because, you know, that's just, why not? I'm excited. I'm really excited. This is actually one of my favorite things to get in the game. This is, like, a really worthwhile reward for once, so that's also good. Apparently he wants you to bring you cuckoos because he's studying them. I don't know why you'd want to study those birds. They're just chickens that want to kill you. So, I don't know. I don't know why you want to look at those. They're just weird. But we're going to head. What's the best way to go there? There's a warp over here. We're gonna make use of this warp. Actually, this warp over here, like I mentioned, is gonna be very useful very shortly, and by very shortly I mean next episode. So keep this warp in mind. But we'll go ahead and speed our way over there as well, because there's really no reason to do that. And we're gonna head over the way to Aboda Village. So that's gonna be the battle plan for today. Really, I don't know if I really needed to keep all these skip sections in. I mean, it's getting to the point where the reason these force gems are taking so long is because, I mean, you're having to go from one end of the map to another. So, you know, it's not like the old days of the force gems where, you know, we're going just like, you know, within a map or really close locations. We're starting to, you know, it slowly gets more and more distance between the force gem targets, which, you know, as it should. You know, as the game gets more diverse and, well, not really diverse, but, you know, more, I don't know, as more tracks appear, you know, the paths are going to get longer to go, so that makes perfect sense. So we'll be using actually quite a lot of warps here. I really hope you guys do pay attention to this, because it is kind of, in my opinion, the quickest way to do it. Maybe there's a quicker way. If you guys know, I mean, if on any of the force gem videos, if you guys like were like, hey, I found a quick way to get all this whole batch of force gems, you know, do feel free to share, because I'm always curious about that. I think these are pretty fast ways. I mean, I've studied some guides, and they seem to point in this direction. So, I don't know. Maybe there's quicker ways. I don't know. But what you're gonna give us something, right? Yeah. Okay. Good, Niko. Don't be a dick. We gave you like 20 stamps, man. And he gives us a Swordsman Scroll, number 2, though. The Swordsman Scroll 2. You know what that means? That means there's a Swordsman Scroll 1. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get another one of those lately. I'll let you guys guess where we get those. It's actually not horribly unobvious, but we'll be getting that actually within a couple episodes as well. What Swordsman Scroll 2 lets you do is the Great Spin Attack. You do 3 spin attacks in a row, which is really hard for me to pull up in my recording setup. But you just go friggin' berserko, and I hit the bees. Oh shit! I hit the bees. Bees. What is with the bees about a village? They're always here. Every time they're always here. Just get out of my life, bees. You guys are really annoying. You were there in the first episode. It happened again. And now it's happened a third time. Just the bees, they're everywhere. But assuming you don't get hit by something like I did, eventually you'll stop spinning and you'll get stunned. Now, the Great Spin is a very useful technique, definitely worth picking up before you do the final Take 'em All On challenge, which is what the final 2 videos of this whole side quest thing. I'm hoping it's only gonna take 2 videos. It's a pretty long one. That's what that's gonna take. So basically, the Great Spin might be very useful for that. So you might want to, it might be worth investing in getting these stamp stations before you take that on. Get it? Take it on? Ha! I didn't even intend to do that. That's awesome. But we're going to take a warp over to Goron Village, because we recognize this from the map. Ferris is going to be all around here. So we're going to pick him up now. Now the other reward we're going to get from this force gem is another place pretty near the one from here. So that's why I'm saving both rewards for next time, because they're generally in the same area, and even though it's in the same map, like, as you can see, it's pretty hard to get from here to those areas, because you kind of go around the whole mountain around. I was like, you know what? If they're both over in that section, I'm just going to take care of them both at the same time. That makes more sense to do. So there we go. Hello, Ferris. How's it going, buddy? Going well? I know life isn't as great now that you know Alfonso is. I know I've ruined your role models, but in case you haven't noticed, I've kidnapped little children, and I've led old man on stray chases. You know, I never did run into a teacher for the 3rd time. That's really weird. And yet, at the same time, it's really not, like, worrying me at all, because it's really not that important anyway. So, yeah. Not really going to bother worrying about teacher. He's really not that important. It's just gonna be 300 rubies, and he just has to take us to Papa Tree Village, which we know how to do that. So I'm pretty sure I didn't do it the 3rd time. I can only remember doing it twice while recording. I mean, I got all my practice attempts, so I don't know how this went. I remember I did actually see him once when I was doing the beetle thing. He popped up, but then he disappeared. So really, I have no idea where he ended up, and he's apparently gone now. Make sure you get that whistle. It's kind of hard sometimes when there's enemies near the whistles. They tend to try to do that sometimes to, like, you know, get you to screw up accidentally. Tends to happen. I completely forget what I was talking. I feel like there's like a really important topic I was talking about before Ferris that I completely got off topic from, and now I don't remember because my brain goes like a mile a minute, and thus I just don't remember stuff. But as we know, we're taking Ferris to the ocean floor, which is why I guess I'm going to take this slow once we get there because, well, the ocean floor is cool. We've only been there once, and I think it's a really awesome environment. So I don't mind, you know, slowing down, taking my time, showing it again. I mean, yeah, it's kind of artificially increasing the length of the episode. Yeah, we could have, you know, done this. Oh, Swordsman Scroll. That's what I was talking about. But yeah, I'll just show off the ocean floor. I mean, I'm sure you guys don't mind. And if you don't really want to see, you know, the end of this Force Gem side quest, then I guess you can just skip ahead. I mean, it's really not just get my back if you skip ahead parts of the video, or even skip these videos, because, you know, they're Force Gem stuff. But yeah, the Great Spin Attack is going to be very useful for the Take 'em All On challenge, just because the only problem, the weakness obviously is once you run out of after you go for a few seconds, you know, you get stunned. So if there's enemies nearby and you run out of juice, then you're going to take a hit, and that's not good, especially now in the Take 'em All On challenge. So you have to be very careful with it. Plus, doing 3 spin attacks in a row, even when you have, like, you know, the ideal setup, is pretty hard to do. However, I will say this as well: the Great Spin Attack also very useful for a certain for a certain part in the end game. It makes it a lot easier, in my opinion. So, really, it's really worthwhile to pick up. I think it's definitely probably the best prize you can get in this game. I mean, unless you count like hard heals and stuff like that, which, I mean, obviously those are useful too, but I don't know. I think out of all the prizes you can get in this game, I won't say it's the best one, but I think it's my favorite one, is the Swordsman Scroll. So I really love that thing. Great spin attack, always a fun time. Reference to Wind Waker, if I remember correctly, which is appropriate that you get from Niko then, you know, a character from Wind Waker. It just makes sense that you would have it. Anyways, so we're heading to the underwater area because, well, I've mentioned that already, because that's where he wants to go. Ferris wants to go on an underwater trip and see our cannonballs turn to missiles because our train is made of magic. Which makes sense, it's the spirit train, it should be. But as you can see, the best way to go down there, by the way, is by using the warp that you can find, like, you know, as we head towards the desert from the mountain realm. There's a little warp there. It speeds up the process a little bit. I mean, you can always just go there, you know, just manually without using the warp, but what's the reason to do that? You might as well just, you know, take a little shortcut while you can. Makes your life easier. And we'll, of course, be using that shortcut to get to the mountain realm afterwards to go check out the stuff that we're going to get next episode. Of course, you have to fight these guys again. That's another reason, I guess, to slow it down, because you don't really get to fight these guys. However, really, once you get to this section, you really don't have to worry about Ferris getting angry, because I don't think there's any enemies here that can hit you this time. These guys just shoot ink in your face. As you can see, it doesn't affect your thing. There's no signs down. There's no signs down here. That'd be really weird to have signs underwater. That just seems a little unnecessary, and luckily there isn't. So really, you're just taking a trip underwater, just taking a nice little pleasure. I mean, it's just a cool place. It has really interesting music. You really don't get to hear it anywhere else in the game. The environment just looks really cool. It's a really peaceful place. I just like being down here. So, I mean, it's no skill off my back to slow this part down, just have a little fun of it. Where are you? I guess the only reason you want to kill these guys and make sure they die is because they do drop 20 rubies, and that's not bad. Not that we need the money for anything, really, but, you know, it's always nice to have a little bit of extra moolah. Also, this is the last time we see Ferris in the game, I'm pretty sure, so basically, we leave him stranded underwater in a temple. I mean, he wanted it, yeah, but, like, so now we've kidnapped young boys, we've led old men astray, we've ruined someone's role model, and then left them underwater for the rest of time. We're just a horrible, horrible hero, Link. Link, you just fail at, I mean, sure, you're doing what everyone wants and they're thankful for it, but you're still screwing everyone over in the process. Then again, I guess Link does have a tendency to do that sometimes. There's some side quests in other games like Skyward Sword that I can think of that end up with Link being a little bit dickish, I guess. I don't know, it's a fun word, dickish. A little inappropriate, but fun. Just say at least. That was just completely random aside there. I'm just gonna shoot some mines because they have eyes. That really creeps me out. Like, mines shouldn't have eyes. It's like the hills. They shouldn't have eyes either in Mario, but they do. And it's like, what the hell, hills? Why do you have eyes? What are you looking at? Do you get bored sitting there having nothing to look at all day because you're hills and you're part of the earth? And does that mean the earth is watching us? That's kind of creepy. Alright, well, now that I effectively filled up that whole underwater trip with blabber, We're here at the Ocean Temple, which is where Ferris wants to go. So hand over your Gratitude Force Gem. I'm going to call it the Gratitude Gem. There we go. Mix up the two. It's the Gratitude Gem and the Force Crystal. That's right. I'm going there. Also, they look like pieces of the Triforce. So does that mean the Triforce is just one giant Gratitude Gem? Yeah, my wires are totally crossed now. Why did I ever have to make that analogy? Now I don't know which one to call them anymore. Now I have to hesitate every time I say the word Force Gem, because I'm weird. Well, I guess they're two, like, three-dimensional Triforce pieces. Triforce has always been kind of 2D-ish, you know what I mean? You know, the triangles have never really had anything sticking out, kind of making hand motions, but you guys can't see it, so, yeah. As you can see, you get a really long path from the mountain realm to the ocean realm, but however, you'll like to note that all those areas do have a very big importance to them. So all these Force Gems actually right now that we're getting are extremely useful and lead to extremely awesome areas. So in the end, it's pretty much worthwhile that to, go here and pick this up. Luckily, or unluckily, depending on your perspective, I guess unluckily from my perspective, but possibly lucky from your perspective, we don't have to start underwater, so we have to travel back through Chipmunk through the water section, the underwater section anymore. Just lets us out here, which is nice. I mean, obviously, if we're leaving the Ocean Temple, we're heading back out here because there's no other reason to be down the other water area, none whatsoever. So we're going to get hit by pirates because I just you know what? I don't care. I have 5 hearts, dude. I don't care about your shenanigans. And we're just gonna end the episode, guys, by heading up here. Just gonna take a couple of minutes to take a little trip upwards towards the next area. And in the next episode, we'll go ahead and, finish. Well, we'll go ahead and do that area, because there's a station up there. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil that right now. Because, what other reason would there be to make a track up there that's a complete and total dead end? Obviously, there needs to be a station up there, or else it would have been completely and totally useless, because that's never going to lead anywhere useful. What other reason would you have to go to the upper right corner of the map? I don't know. But there is also going to be a rabbit on the way. The final mountain rabbit. We only have 2 rabbits left, actually, if you guys haven't checked. We have a mountain rabbit left, and we have an ocean rabbit left. We'll be getting the mountain rabbit now. We'll be getting the ocean rabbit, I think, 2 videos from now. So we're finishing those up, actually, with these next few videos. And that's always good to see, All those rabbits, humongous pains in the ass, but they're almost done. You'll find the rabbit right around here. So number 10, mountain rabbit. I'm going to just take my time shooting you, apparently. Come on, just get a really weird angle. Sometimes it's really hard to aim the thing properly. I'm just, making sure well, I guess if you're playing on tap it, but if you mistap, if your mouse is, or your stylus, or, in other cases, is off, then sometimes it's a bit hard to aim. And speaking of being hard to aim, mountain rabbit. Mountain rabbit. We'll get that guy. We'll get that one next time, guys. So we'll pick up on that rabbit as we leave the station. But for now, guys, this is LuckySevenDX. Sorry for the kind of uneventful video, but we got the Great Spentax, so that's totally worth it. In the next episode, though, it's gonna be a bit long. I'm gonna tell you that now. But we're going to get a lot of really cool stations done and some really cool quests. So definitely stay tuned for next time. It's gonna be pretty awesome. We just sort of this episode was a setup to make a really freaking awesome episode next time. So, and also an episode 2 times. So, trade off. Sure, we'll go with that. So, this is LuckySevenDX signing out. I'll see you guys later for more Spirit Tracks. Thanks for watching. As always, guys, stay tuned for more craziness. Bye bye.